Now, having said all that, what do you feel about this RTO work? Do you think it's any merit to like them just trying to like bag on government workers? What do you think about all of it?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with a lot. What he's doing, I don't agree on how he's doing it. A lot of the government workers are not doing any work.
This video will be sponsored by SNHU. So it's 2025 and cybersecurity is still all the rage. Breaches are at an all-time high and so are cyber salaries. But there's a problem you keep running into. Cyber jobs you want to land are requiring a degree and you don't have one. Let me introduce you to today's sponsor, Southern New Hampshire University, SNHU. SNHU has a flexible online program that also touts one of the lowest tuitions in the country. SNHU is an affordable, accredited nonprofit university that has dedicated career advisors, webinars, internships, and more to prepare you to enter or advance in the workforce. There's a 32% projected growth of information security analyst roles through 2032, and according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median security analyst salary in 2023 was $120,000. In SNHU's program, you can learn about these critical subjects: cybersecurity foundations, networking, incident response, risk management, enterprise security, and more. As a cybersecurity professional, these are all important courses. If you would like to know more about SNHU's program, then please visit snhu.edu/TechTual or click the link below in the description.
Welcome back to the TechTual Talk podcast, guys. Your boy HD. And we got another guest. This is a second back-to-back episode. We got none other than the host of the TechTual podcast, Chris Okpala. And he came all the way from DC to rock with us in Dallas today. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, whatever, please follow the podcast, leave us a review, help us out in the podcast analytics. And if you watch on YouTube, just hit the like button. Subscribe later if you enjoy the conversation. And click them links in the description. But Chris, what's going on, man?
What's going on? I appreciate you for letting me on this podcast. You know, I'm a big fan of everything you've been doing. I'm following you for years. So for me, it's just more admiration, and it's a day coming because I did content like last year and I'm on your podcast. So I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like everybody know, like when you actually try to make like honest content, you be like, dang, like I can do this salacious stuff and do this. But then you realize like people hit you up like out of nowhere, like, yo, I've been watching the podcast 3-4 years, bro. I got a job by following your tips. Or you'll say, hey man, you inspired me to make content, so I appreciate it. You know, because it's like I'm gonna do an episode with like DeJuan Lightfoot one day.
That's the OG. I missed it, man.
We were supposed to do one, but he said he would want to come down, so I got to do that. But it's the same thing. Like when I came with my content, like specifically just for this channel, like before this channel, I was doing some boxing content, but 5 years ago, specifically with this channel, I was like, I don't see much. All I saw was DeJuan lab every day, and then so I just started my thing, and I put my own twist on it after I got out, you know, introducing myself and said, okay, cool, let's bring some people. I say it's a lot of people of us that's in tech. Let's highlight it and go from there. And that's what we did. So now I've just been reinventing the wheel every chance I get to just stay relevant and keep on giving people like the content that they like, man.
Yeah, you're definitely an innovator. Same thing with DeJuan, like for he's one of the game. And I like for you specifically, you have honest content, and that's what drew me to you. And you keep your personality. You always talk about anime, and you keep it real. So that's what got me to you. I don't care about the money, but I care about the content, what's really going on.
Yeah, because like it be these dudes crying online. Oh, I watched anime and the girls didn't like me. I'm like, fam, you was dressed weird. You probably didn't bathe. We know you was running with your arms behind your back. Like I've never had that issue. Like in the past, whatever, I've been able to get women like to sit down and watch a show with me. I'm like, oh, I think you'll like this.
Say me too. I get them to watch Assassin's Classroom. I got girls to watch that. Naruto. Actually, I was watching Mr. Murasaki or something that's on Netflix.
Sakamoto or something.
Mr. Sakamoto. That joint good.
I hadn't seen it yet, but I seen this clip of it.
It's good.
You should try if they don't like action, Promise Neverland.
Oh yeah, that thing. The first season's good. After that, and I heard you talking about what was that? Attack on Titan's good. I don't care what you say.
I didn't say it wasn't good. Yeah. I just said I could tell people to watch anime without ever having to watch it.
Okay.
Because it's not in the big three, though it's good. I feel like it was repetitive in the early seasons. And I was getting bored with it.
What's your big three?
I mean, the only big three that matters is DBZ's not in the big three.
What DB? Oh, wow.
It's his own thing.
Okay. It
was Dragon Ball Z. Then the big three came. It was Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece.
Okay.
Then after that, they had like a new current three. And I want to say it might have been My Hero, and it's something else.
My Hero.
And it's two more. It's two other ones, but they had like a lot of like claim to fame. Then you got these other ones in between. Like I like watching like shorter seasons. Like I said, I just went through rewatch Kenshin. I've been watching Solo Leveling from time to time. When my son was like an infant at nighttime, we was rewatching Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple.
Yeah, that's good. Kenichi's an underrated one. I was just watching that 2 years ago. It didn't finish out.
Kenichi, I always go back and watch Akame Got Killed from time to time. Sarah for the End. A lot of short joints is like they be hidden. But now outside of that, like only manga I keep up with, and I think it's dropping this week, but Boruto. Because Kishimoto is writing that.
You like Boruto? Oh, it's all right. I like the OG.
Nah, Kishimoto's writing again.
Okay. Oh, so he's back on. Okay, so we gotta see how it goes.
Yeah, so like in the anime, there's some filler where he wasn't in there, and then it gets into expounding on the stuff that's in the manga, and then with the manga, it's got straight to it. It's Boruto is a lot influenced by Akira Toriyama and the androids.
Yeah,
they're cyborgs and aliens, and there's a lot of different stuff going on, but he's kind of righting some of the wrongs that's happening in other things, and he's found a successful way of making new main characters matter and a way of getting the old characters out there in a good fashion. The thing that Dragon Ball Z just can't do for whatever reason.
Did you just see what happened with Dragon Ball Z recently?
I seen the clips.
Okay, I don't want to spoil nobody.
I seen it. I mean, by the time they see this, it'll been out a while. Yeah. I mean, I saw it. It's cool. I mean, it's all right. What's that little Nah, she did something else, but like, you know that TikTok was like, who's your top 3?
Oh.
No, and he was like, I thought you were finna say that. Oh, that's cool. Okay, man, I think it's Lil Wayne. They asked Lil Wayne his top 3.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It was the one who your top 3, you name your top 3. Hey, I thought he got the little something on it, but I gave him. Yeah, I got you. That was a good one. I need to do a video on that one actually on TikTok.
Yeah, man. But Chris, for the people who haven't tuned into Tech Woke, can you like just give a little background on yourself?
Yeah, so people can understand who I am. I'm Chris Okpala. I'm from Washington, D.C. Play football at Friendship Collegiate Academy. Anime enthusiast, cybersecurity specialist, predominantly in the RMF framework in the GovTech space. But overall, I'm a good guy. I enjoy doing cybersecurity. I like hanging out, but that's a little background who I am. I'm a little hood, a little educated. Can't be both, but that's who I am.
Do you wear a lot of boots?
Nah, this ain't the Nike boots. Back in the day, yeah, the Nike boots.
Nah, DC like, so I'm doing a joke, yeah, but right, like right. New Edition movie, Johnny Gill came in, he from DC, and he always had on them boots.
Yeah.
And it was like, he said, that's a DC thing.
Is it black, or the black ones? Is it Nike boots? Yeah, we did.
Nah, they were Nike boots. I forgot what he was wearing.
Polo boots,
This is before Wale came out with Nike boots.
Tim's, yeah.
That's what I should have played to start the pod for you. I should have played some go-go.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. I was like, you got to put on that go-go. We can get in that joint, beat your feet, all that. I like go-go.
Yeah, I like I said, like I had on TikTok one time, they had some musician was playing some go-go, and the pastor was like trying to read the words to the go-go. And he was going in though. But nah, I was gonna message you. Did you see Cross?
Oh no, what's that?
Cross was pretty much the newer remake of Alex Cross.
Oh no, I didn't see Cross. That's an anime?
Nah. It's a show with what's my god name? Dark skinned dude.
Cross. I didn't see that one. I gotta look that one.
Handsome guy, man. I can't think of his name. Aldous Hodge. That's his name. Aldous Hodge.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. I think that's my thing with anime too. I need to be able to not figure out what's gonna happen. I watch so many shows we can figure it out. So right now we're currently watching Paradise on Hulu.
Okay.
Y'all watching Paradise?
No, I didn't watch it yet.
What's Paradise is good.
Okay. Is it anime?
It's just a regular show with Sterling Brown and some other people.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't watched a lot of shows. I kind of be studying anime show on YouTube. That's all I be on.
Yeah. Well, I don't get a chance to watch a lot of anime anymore. I be so busy. But like our spend time together nights is watching a show. Like it's gonna be a show because it get rough if you trying to watch the show without them and try to complete it.
It's hard. You can't.
So Cross was the last thing that we into. Now it's Paradise, and then the other show I used to watch is Found. But before we keep on expounding, I got something that's I got it high up there that other people don't probably got it at high, but because of the plot twist, I really love the OG 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, that was good. Now the one they got now, stop. Yeah, it's
decent.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's not better. It's hard, but they've kind of made it pretty cool because I finally gave it a chance. And when I seen what they was doing with the Archangel, not the Archangel, but the Agents of Chaos or whatever they are, So it's cool. It's cool.
They take Escanor. Escanor still in that one?
No, he has like a variant in there that she's pretty. Ain't nobody like Escanor is what Vegeta was supposed to be.
Facts.
Did you see some on the ground? Why'd you look down?
Yeah.
Like the one, like bro, like that's what I would think I was talking. I don't know if I was doing a pod or something. Was it me and Destiny? And I was like, man, how I stay motivated to get in shape. I put on Creed 3.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. You know, it took a lot of anime inspiration.
Yeah, with that Ippo, whatever. I watched a little bit of that boxing anime before.
Ippo was good.
It's pretty cool. So we know you went to Bowie State.
Yeah. So
what was that like? What you majored in?
So when I was at Bowie State, I was in there with my boys. We majored in criminal justice, and during that time, you know, I really wanted to become a lawyer. Mm-hmm. So while I was in Bowie State, I went to a mock trial. No, not even a mock trial. I went to a trial, and then I saw the lawyer kind of like lying about a lot of stuff, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. But it was like towards when I'm a senior. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? So when I was at Bowie State, my boy, he had got a job as a background investigator at a company called CSRA. At the time, it's now GDIT. So he eventually let me know about the job, and I was like, he was kind of gatekeeping in the beginning. I was like, hey, so I got a job. I was like, where at? He's like, give me a clearance. And he was like, he was trying to tell me. And I was like, bro, just tell me the job so I can apply. And he gave me the email. I applied that same day. And then I was a background investigator. So that's what I did after school.
You know what's funny though? When I was going on your LinkedIn, I was like, oh, I know you worked at CSRA. I worked at CSRA for a year, but before it was the CSRA, it was CSC, Computer Sciences Corporations. But it merged with another company. I think SRA and then CSC, they merged, and then of course GDIT. So I was like I said, I got that first clearance working the help desk.
It's like that first clearance matter.
Yeah, not for me no more. Like, I mean, I ain't used that clearance in over almost 10 years.
Okay, so you private sector, more on the private sector side now. I got you.
I mean, I don't mind. I see stuff like a Paraton and other place sometime. Like, I don't know if I need to put, hey, had a clearance before on a resume or something before, but you know.
You'd be all right, especially with all this stuff going on now.
Yeah. Well, they still hiring though.
Yeah, they still hiring. It depends on what you're trying to go for.
Yeah, Paraton, they gave my client a contingent offer.
Oh, congrats.
So like I said, that's the one that went from $52K to $95K.
Oh, that's amazing.
And but like I said, hey, we keep it on interview until we get equipment and a start date.
Yeah, once you get equipment start date, it's official.
Because you'll mess around and say, well, I got an offer. And then the whole time, hey, something happened with the contract. We got to rescind the offer. Now you asked out. So I was like, listen, we keep interviewing. If we land something else before they, give us a start date, we take that and say, I'm sorry, but, I got a family to feed or something. Just lie.
Yeah, I still interview to this day because you never know. Anyway, I want to stay sharp for myself.
You got to, man. So I want you to briefly talk about your background, like doing the background investigating thing. So were you the people that was pretty much investigating people for the equip?
Yeah, so that, for a background investigator, I had to literally read the whole, you know how it is. I had to go through all your stuff, read the equip, go visit your jobs, different places like that. So what I would do is they'll send me to your company. I would talk to you. I would talk to people that you work with. I can't go into certain other details, but I would do that. And just make sure you're qualified to get a clearance. And for a clearance, they look for certain things. They're looking for financial, making sure, not talking too much to two different people. And they just making sure everything you're saying is somewhat true or close to true.
Yeah, I know. Like I tell people, that's why I believe it's easier to get a clearance when you're young. Like I got my clearance, I was freshly 22.
Oh, that's the best time.
Yeah, I ain't have like really no credit history, no much job history. So they was like, hey, where you stayed 10 years ago? The same house I stayed at 5 years ago. And I had to think of like people like I knew for that long. So I just feel like it was a pain process. And like, man, they don't tell you about that struggle, like waiting on when that clearance is gonna come through. So like for that first job, they told me they was gonna hire me in March of 2014. I didn't start till May. So I was working at Target. I quit Target at the time. I'm telling everybody, yeah, I got a job. But as the weeks go by, they're like, you sure you got a job?
You capping? Right. I did the same thing. We had the same story, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like every day, because at the time, like my mom, her car was down. So like all I was doing most of the days was taking her to work and picking her up. So every time I was just at the crib, and I was only making 70 to 75 at Target. So I ain't even had, hey man, I need that clearance to come through, bro. Because like I said, that first job was $17 an hour. So I thought I was doing something.
And what you don't know, back in those days, there was so many people, like what's that thing when they have an overload of jobs? There was so many people that needed a clearance process that you had to kind of, it's going to take a year. Sometimes it took 2 years.
I had to start, so I pretty much was able to start with my interim until like it finally went through.
Oh, that's what's up. Interim secret?
Yeah,
Okay.
I had to get the interim, and it was something I had to get specifically because I was working with TSA data. I forgot what it was, but yeah, that took a minute, but you know, I started that, and that was kind of like the start of everything. But I know after you did the background investigating, then you got into like some other roles.
Okay, I'll tell you about those. Yeah, so after I was a background investigator, I was an intel analyst. I was also a project manager. And for an intel analyst, all I did is just basically what you do, gathering intel to put things together. And then also I was a project manager. And when I was being a project manager, I would just, manage people. I was working with linguists. I was at the I think I was at the FBI, and then all I used to do was just manage linguists to make sure they translated stuff on time. But to be honest with you, in the government space, a lot of that stuff is dead end, man. So I was like, man, I got to get up out of there because I was just doing the same. And I was like, and I wasn't getting paid that much money. I think when I was a background investigator, I was like getting paid $45K. When I became a project manager, and be surprised, I was only making like $50K.
I ain't surprised.
So, and then I got laid off during that time too.
Really? From the FBI?
Yeah, so what happened was something happened during that job. I can't really talk about it, but it wasn't because of work. And then I got let go. And then during that time, I was like, but I was also trying to get into cybersecurity during that time, the whole time. But you know how it is, you confused. Like, how do you get in this field? I got a master's, got a security plus, but then at that time, I was like, I really had to go get a job because I lost my job and I had to figure something out.
Yeah. It's like so many different things. Like you got the people. Like I got a guy that he's gonna come on the pod. The matter of fact, the day before my birthday, he almost been in the game 30 years.
Well,
He was working doing 9/11 and everything.
Oh, damn.
JP Morgan, so
OG.
doing cloud stuff.
Back then, they had a cloud.
Cloud always been here. It's probably just been known by different names.
Okay.
But the advice, what worked 30 years ago is not the same as now. Like even, I know I was going to bring up the Phantom Marie about one of the things, but like we started running late on time, but like, I know she got a video where she tell people about getting the trifecta or whatever. But like a lot of times I'm running to clients and they got the trifecta. I'm like, yo, leave that A+ off your resume. Because you're not going to see the A+ on any of them cybersecurity job descriptions.
Same thing with the Google cert. Nobody asks about that.
Well, it's not a cert. It's a certificate.
It's a certificate, yeah.
But the thing is, if you leverage it the right way, because you learn things from different domains and do some stuff, you can actually learn more with that certificate versus the Security Plus.
And I agree on that. Yeah, 100%. You can take that stuff and use it as other
You can say they
things,
projects.
Yeah.
That's how my guest Kayla Carter, that's how she got her job being what she do? She do something with application security. She makes sure like all the stuff is right for application security, but that's how she got her job doing that. Just by showcasing the willingness to learn and what she understood about it.
Actually, that's a gem. That's a gem right there, to be honest with you, because I didn't know.
Yeah, because first time, sometimes people reach out to me if they got a job. Hey, have you talked to your manager? Have you seen internally if they got any openings? And I figure out where to take the conversation if they go from there. Because a lot of times they've never even told somebody, hey, I'm interested in going here. It's going to be cheaper for you to transfer internally than them to bring somebody in externally.
And that's your boy. You familiar with Nigel Boston?
Yeah.
So I was talking to him. He was like, now he said something that actually makes sense. Why don't you just hit up your own company about getting the help desk? And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, but it don't make sense,
It makes sense, but it don't if they going to not let you leave it. And sometimes they outsource the help desk. Now, Granted, depending on your help desk, you can become super technical really fast. So I would like, if you would go that route, say do cloud support, like go into cloud engineering or whatever. But a lot of times too, you can tell your manager what you want to do, but I say, hey, your manager not going to advocate for you like you're going to advocate for yourself.
Nah, you got to advocate for yourself, even when it comes to money. I had to figure it out the hard way.
Yeah, definitely. Man, so look, you left project management, and then that's when when did you want to decide to do RMF? It was just the easiest thing you could find, or what?
So I'll tell you this. So I had lost my job when I was a project manager. I had lost my job. This is during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have anything. I was living at my time. I was living there with my ex. And she was working, getting the money. I ain't gonna lie, she was paying the bills. I'm at home looking crazy.
So you was going through insecurity. You was Lawrence.
I was low. Yeah, I was going insecurity, all that, man. And I was like,
laughing.
And I always wanted to get into tech. But I mean, be honest with you, when I was in college, I didn't think people that look like you and me can get into tech. So I was already preparing to get into cybersecurity. I got the Security Plus. I got my master's. I just couldn't get a job. And then I didn't know at the time. So I started applying to like 100 jobs. So I'm applying to 100, 200 jobs. And I kept, it get depressing. Imagine you at home and every time you wake up, you get like 5 rejections.
Dope.
Yeah, every morning. It's like
we
20
are
of 'em.
impressed with your experience. We decided to go with other candidates.
Yeah, it's just, and I was like,
I just got one while we were sitting here. It's all right.
And then my boy, he got a job. He was a cyber engineer, and then eventually he transferred to risk management framework. And I'm calling him every day. My boy Osaji, by the way, and I'm calling him every day, and I'm like, and he getting tired. At some point, he stopped. You know, you like, I don't want to talk to Chris no more. But he gave me a good advice. He said, Chris, because this is when he transferred to RMF. He's like, Chris, why don't you just focus in what you want to do? And I was like, focus in. Like, I thought cyber's everything. He's like, nah, bro, there's different roles. And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, let me do, he said, Chris, do RMF. I bet you get a job quickly. I was like, I don't know how to get into RMF. So he just sent me his resume. And during my master's program, I didn't know NIST. I had to read the NIST guidelines. A lot of that stuff I already did. So what you talked about, I put project on my resume, you know, put in things that I've done on the courses I did. And then I transferred my resume. I didn't have the experience of what he did, but I went to go learn it. So guess what? You know, I tailored it to that, and I tailored it to the help desk. Once I tailored it, man, I started getting hella jobs, man. I'm sorry for cursing. I don't know.
You good?
Yeah. So I started getting a lot of jobs. So then that's when I started getting more, and then I would start doing the interview process like what you talk about. So I'm starting to get into questions, and then I say like 2 months later, I finally got all the way to the hiring manager, and I was talking to this guy, and then he was like, I put a lot of stuff on the resume that didn't make sense. I ain't gonna lie. So he was like, he started asking me. I just listened. I said, listen, bro. I just told him straight up, listen, I don't know what you talking about, bro, but listen, if you hire me, I don't know a lot of this stuff, but I promise you I come every day. And at the time, nobody wanted to come in the office. He said, I'll come in, and this is during the pandemic. So I would do whatever I have to do to get in this position. And then that's when he gave me a job. And that was the best moment in my life.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing, too, I've always told people that's still searching now, like, because a lot of people still holding on to remote. Most companies now is hybrid and on-site. Back then, it's like, yo, if you stay in an area that got jobs, go into the office. Get your experience. Once you get the cachet to work remote, find your remote job. Like, I think that's the thing that I've like kind of like hated a lot of times. Like, even like the person that y'all was talking about, that granted, I mean, it worked out for them, but it's like, sometimes you got to take a dip.
Yeah,
like, you can't always just laterally move over and get the highs of the highs. And some of the people will be feeling like they are entitled to something. I'm like, you don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Take what you can get sometimes. Like, and when I say we can get, at least if it pay your bills. Now, if it don't pay your bills, by all means, I understand. But if it can pay your bills and you got to maybe cut back on some stuff you don't need, like, do that for a little while, stay down, and you'll come back up. But a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah, like even when I first started this role, I was only making $75K. But when I would go around the office and ask other people what they getting, they would laugh at me. Oh, I'm getting like 160, 150. I'm like, I know more than you at $75K going from the bottom, coming in the office, talking to everybody. So it's going to eventually come. So you got to start from the bottom first. And that's why I tell people.
But you know what? I never asked no. I mean, I only have like one friend that I work with. Like, we worked together in like 3 different companies. Other than that, I don't really ask people what they get because I kind of know what's in the range based on what the job's posted range is. Because some places you do that and it'll, like, people will let you go sometimes just for inquiring about what people getting paid because people don't know how to be quiet about it.
Yeah, I never said anything. They would kind of tell me and hint at it, but I never told them. Hey, I'm quiet. You tell me something, I keep it quiet. You know?
Yeah, I'm the type of person, though, like, when I see you at a job and you're doing good, I'll tell you. I had a person I was working with before. So she was actually a girl. And I was mad that they didn't pick her up to be full time. I was like, yo, it's kind of good that you're going somewhere else because you're going to get some experience and realize you've been doing some bull for like the last 2 years and you finna go learn more and get your bag up. And she told me, like, thank you for telling me that because I have learned so much since I left that company. I was like, I know. Like, I'm the type of person that'll tell you, like, go get your bread and, like, take care of yourself. Like, for real.
Thanks.
So that was back in, I think you was doing CSRA joint in what, like 2018?
Yeah, 28. There's a minute ago. Man, this is wow. I got to go check my own.
I checked it. Listen.
I got to go. Dang. I work for CSRA. I work for another company. I don't want to mention the current company I work for, but I worked at some company. That was like 2018, 2017. I think I've been in cyber for 5 years since then, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, could you explain what an RMF analyst is?
So, like, in the risk management, it's good. Risk management framework is what we call it. It's the same thing as GRC, and it's the same. It's all the same. RMF, GRC is all the same stuff. All risk management is say you're trying to bring, because in the government you have to bring these systems in the government. I'm just going to use the example of Sony. I'm just going to say Sony or Palo Alto. I'm going to use Sony. say Sony wants to come into the government and, set up shop there. For the government, you have to make sure it's in compliance. So with that, you got to make sure it follows certain controls. It goes through the RMF framework to make sure it can be in the government system. And, in the work in the government system, you had to harden it with STIGs, the controls, documentation. So that's what my job is do. I make sure that is good for that government system. So that's what my whole job is.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing. Like when we're dealing with like third-party vendors, same thing. If they're gonna have your data, you gotta adhere to these things. And then, of course, in the private sector, the one I could think of like the most recent was like Snowflake had the big breach, and then
Snowflake was big.
Through the Snowflake breach, that's how AT&T got hacked or whatever. So that's the ramifications of some. All right, man, we can't get the big fish. We're gonna get the little fish, and then we're gonna get in there. So also, guys, he has a video that he did recently where he actually made it like some fictionary like stuff that you would do at work. So y'all should actually check that out. He'll actually show you what he's talking about.
Yeah, and I'm gonna continue to make a lot of those videos and I actually stole that from you because sometimes people don't believe it until you see it, and then they show you how simple it is. Because a lot of stuff I do is simple, but even to you, what you do is simple, but it helps the people get an understanding that you can do it.
Yeah, like I be trying to, but my days been like, that's why I took so long to get y'all questions, man. We've been having to do some tedious crap at work, so I haven't been able to do some other stuff that I wanted to do and like not stay up super late and then make me not go to the gym and stuff, or unless I didn't hear my alarm like what happened to me the other day.
Trust me, I know. I even with with my podcast, like people will be like, I'll get to the last week and then they'll be like, where are my questions at? And I said, listen, do you know how hard it is to do research on you and then bring you questions and make sure it looks good on the podcast? So I understand. Yeah, so I understand 100%.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know how that started playing.
It's a fire song.
But nah, and like what I'll do is start off like with some kind of like generalized stuff, and then I'll get into the specifics. But the easier, like if you got a social presence, it makes it that much easier, like to just bring up like different stuff and bring it up. Like it was so easy to have her video on and just listen to it in the background at work, and I'm gonna pull this out. I'm gonna pull this out. Pull this out. So because right now, what's kind of sucky, and I gotta check it, but YouTube blocked like people being able to put them links in them AI tools.
Oh, they did. Oh, I didn't know that.
Like I couldn't put it in. I think it was blocking my Cast Magic, and I got to double check Opus and stuff. But like I was saying, like people was relying so much. Oh yeah, we can scale this business over AI. But if YouTube say, hey, we need a split of this because you taking stuff that people putting on our platform, and they put it on other platforms that people can't even copyright.
Facts.
So that's the thing that's coming out with that. But that's a content creator thing. I don't know if I ever start like some think media type content creator type.
You know what, Henry, stuff. Yeah, and I just want to give the audience, Henry has, gave me a lot of good advice. So I think in the STEM space or whatever space where you want to go, like definitely you know what you're doing when it comes to content.
What I'm about to say. So typical day to day, like I'm pretty sure like you get in the office or you come in by like.
I'm gonna go into it. RMF can be very different. Compliance and GRC is very, very. It's crazy. Like when I come in the office, the first thing I got to do my emails. So I'm going through my emails. Hey, this. You need to check on this vulnerability. Hey, this zone. So another big one. I'm not saying this is for the government, but Salt Typhoon. I'm just saying it for example. Like I've seen all this stuff. They coming to us. Hey, you got to figure this out. So I'm talking to all the different stakeholders about what's going on. Making sure they can understand. We have project managers that don't understand anything. So I'm coming in to check my emails. I'm trying to explain something as a child to a lot of these program and project managers to make sure everything is good. I definitely checking a lot of ACAT scans and vulnerability scans. I'm just checking the Cat 1 vulnerabilities. That's the highest vulnerability to the audience. Cat 2s, Cat 3s, because you have to get them, remediated, or you can't.
You're saying Cat, so like short for categories?
Yeah, Cat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm checking those. I'm taking a lot of that stuff. I'm uploading in, we talked about Archer, but I use a tool called EMAS. So we taking that, put it in there, and then after I put it in there to kind of manage the vulnerabilities, create plan of actions for them, I go back and talk to a lot of the engineers, and then a lot of them give me the runaround, so I'm just trying to, being a RMF specialist is more of like being maybe an assistant or a program manager, like a mini program manager. So a lot of that's just kind of like the day-to-day of being a RMF analyst.
Okay, cool. So let me ask you this. What type of challenges have you experienced in the workplace, whether it be either getting up to speed, whether it be workplace politics, whether it be trying to get promoted? What type of challenges have you experienced?
Man, there's so many. The first thing when I experienced one, it just overall, like in cyber career.
Yeah.
Oh, so my first thing is being green. So when you're green, people send you on a lot of dummy missions. You know,
Crash outs.
like dummy missions, man. Like I remember, and then I had so like for example, like if you bring something in a meeting, a lot of people don't know that as a cyber analyst, you bring it up, you have to go do it. So I would just bring up stuff, but it helped me. But I had to bring now. They would just get me on dummy missions, like, hey, you need to write a policy on this. Write a policy on what's that thing? A ConOps on this, and I didn't even know what a ConOps was. So I was on
What
a lot
is
of
it?
those. It's basically a very detailed description on a system, very very detailed. And I'm like, I don't even know nothing about cyber. I don't even know about this system. How am I going to write it? And keep in mind, they haven't wrote this in years. I still didn't write it. It was garbage. I'm not going to lie to you. I wish they had ChatGPT. Another issue I had is pay. Like some people like let me give an example. Like I was switching over to another contract and they was like, oh yeah, you try to pay you wanted $75K back then. Why are you asking for this big amount now? I'm like, cause I don't have nobody else. But they trying to make sure they don't, decline what you're worth. You know what I'm saying? So I've dealt with that. And then another thing I'm starting to deal with now is and I don't know if it's true or not, but it's like, being this, how we look, you know what I'm saying? So it's like talking to different people, they don't take what you say credible because of the color of your skin. And I've been noticing that. So that's kind of a lot of stuff I've been going through in the government, like, or not even in the government, in my whole cybersecurity career.
Yeah. For the second part about that money, you just tell them, hey, yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, 3 years ago, eggs was $1, now they $6. Like, what you want to do with it?
Yeah, I don't argue. When people tell me they price, I'll just pay it. I mean, if it's not worth it, don't pay it.
Yeah. And then I think the other thing is like, some people got like a lot of inherent biases or different things, whereas like for me, it's been sometimes getting over scrutinized versus other people. Like, why I gotta be perfect, but these people could do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Oh, why do you expect so much out of me, but not out of them? And they've been here longer than me. Like, so it's different things that you see, and you kind of just start saying, okay, I kind of know what this is, but I got one eye open.
And back to that, what you just said, like I noticed that like some other people can do the bare minimum. I'm over here, like when I first started, I used to come on the weekends. I used to stay late. I'm talking about I did all the work I can.
Overtime?
Oh, every time. I didn't even get paid for overtime, to be honest with you. And they'll be like, well, Chris not in today. I'm like, huh? You haven't been here the whole week. Why are you worried about I'm not here today? So that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, I was like, my stuff done. And that's the thing. So like for the audience that had been around a while, I do have a LinkedIn course geared towards pretty much having a successful cybersecurity career because most of the content is on how to get in, but we don't make content on how to stay in. So I have some content on that to actually show you about, okay, how do you go advocate for yourself and have visibility so people can know what you're working on. So definitely check that out on LinkedIn Learning. I could share it out probably whenever this drops so it'll be free and you can run it up on there so I can pay them their advance back.
You got put the ads out there.
that platform is a little different on how they push stuff. So I haven't tripped. That's the reason why I don't really care to make another one for them. Because I could just go make my own course and keep more of the money versus doing the advance. But it was a good experience. If you want to know like how I learned these different things about content, I took that course thing, learning how to work with a producer and a director on how to make content, how to script it, how to make content's like more presentation style, B-roll, all these different things. Like you was talking about energy and intro and hooks, scripting it out. I had to do all that and shoot it, which was pretty easy to shoot because I had already been doing content for like 2-3 years at the time. So that's like that. And now like I'm learning, like I've been really trying to figure out like, hey, how can I find like a cybersecurity advocate role?
Yeah.
Because like literally a lot of stuff I do is already advocating. Like I want a role that's going to allow me to do exactly what I already do and get paid for a company for it because y'all be having all these other people on there. Like, let me do it.
You might as well, because I see a lot of people, especially Amazon, all these other NBA, you might as well.
Yeah, I just got to find it. Like, to be honest, like, just figure out, all right. And it's probably some couple people I can reach out to about that and figure out how to go there. You just always need a new challenge to kind of push you. If not, like,
you get bored.
It's hard to get up for, like, whatever. Which I think that's the reason why them Chiefs got their butt whooped. Like they just so used to just like getting every call they can get and just beating everybody that they got blitzkrieged and boy, I ain't never seen. But that reminded me like Pat Mahomes in that game reminded me of like Brady in the AFC Championship in 2016 versus the Denver Broncos. I ain't never seen him that uncomfortable.
Nah, because Patrick Mahomes was looking at the refs. He was like, "Man, what's up, man? We sent you that check this month."
Shoot, even if you looking at the refs, it ain't gonna stop you from getting hit upside your head.
Yeah, they was what? Hey, I mean, he got sacked like 10 times,
6 times, but he got hurried so much. He was like, "Shh." I was so happy, bro. I hate the Chiefs.
Me too. I hate him as much as Brady.
I can respect that they're good, but I just hate them because I was like, bro, y'all been getting over because my GOAT retired, and it was nobody else to like keep y'all in check. But we got old Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Old Bo the GOAT. He said, hey, what Shannon told Ocho, hey, I don't want you to say play or off if your team ain't win this week. What that is, Ocho? Oh, okay.
Hey, hey, Shannon the GOAT when it comes to content, man.
Man, he be saying a lot of, man, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I would have never, and I made Lee saying that out, but like when he told Meg he'll have it stretched out like a quarter of 3, that was funny to me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I wouldn't have apologized for that. I was like, hey, bro, she probably thought that was funny too.
He interviewed her. That's a funny.
Yeah, he apologized about like, bro, that.
She probably liked it.
She did. Behind the scenes, she did say that because I ain't like that's one thing. If you're gonna get some gang, go hang around the old man playing dominoes. But they be having all the funny lines.
The best quote he ever said is, "I don't wear a watch to know what time it is. It says, know you how value my time is." You know what I'm saying? That's why we wear watches.
Big facts. Let me see what else we got on this thing. So, you were once a person that wanted to work in RMF. If somebody out there right now want to drop what they doing, they want to stop being a grocery boy, they want to stop doing Uber Eats, DoorDash, and they want to get into RMF, what would you recommend they do?
Yeah, the first thing I would tell people off the break, if you want to get into RMF, first you got to kind of find out what you want to do, which is RMF. Go on Indeed. No, first thing, go on LinkedIn. Follow everybody that's in RMF and just see if you can have a conversation with them. The second thing I would do, go on Indeed, look at RMF, look at what the job requires. Start doing projects and post it on LinkedIn. To get in specifically in RMF, you need a clearance. There's 2 different ways you can get a clearance. You can go through the federal route or you can go through the contract route. If you want to go the contract route, apply to a lot of these jobs to get a clearance. A lot of these jobs that hire is like background investigators, a security guard. Mainly a lot of people get in through being a security guard. Get your clearance first. Then after you get your clearance, get your security plus, start studying the RMF frameworks, do your projects. Start learning STIGs. Go on, cyber.mil. Go on cyber.mil, download STIGs. STIG viewer, start studying the risk management framework, learn about the framework, learn about what controls are, and just start showing that you can do this during the interview. Because if you do that and don't know how no experience, there's a lot of people that's in the field that don't even do that. There's a lot of people that don't know how to use EMAS, and they've been in the field for like 15 years,
I got a friend, she's all about using EMAS. And what is a STIG?
So a STIG is it's a check. It's basically like a check. So, for example, for Windows, to use Windows in the government, it has to follow certain rules or certain things have to be checked off that it follows. Mm-hmm. So it's hardening the system.
Got it.
So it's hardening the system. So, like for example, maybe Windows has to have multi-factor authentication on this particular system or something in it, and that's what a STIG is. It's just following like a checklist to make sure it's following everything on there, and the engineer is just going through it to make sure everything complies.
Okay, cool. I had to educate them with some of that verbiage.
Yeah.
And so, do you think DC is probably the best area to do RMF work?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, DC in general for the GovTech space. If you come to Washington DC, they have and it's not even just DC. You can go to Virginia, you can go to Maryland. They have jobs in the area, but that's the best place in Colorado too, because they have a lot of the DOD locations. They mainly do RMF in the DOD. Well, they do RMF period, but the DOD is where a lot of the jobs are going to be at. So DC, Maryland, Virginia, and also Colorado.
Okay. Yeah. Now, some fun stuff. Do you always want to do RMF, or are you thinking to come to the black side and get into the private sector?
You know what? I've been thinking about that lately. I know you've been seeing a lot what's going on with the government, right? So I've been thinking about I want to become, I want to do digital forensics. I'm tired of RMF. I've done this for like 5 years. I think it takes 5 years to become a SME. So I'm a kind of a subject matter expert when it comes to RMF, and I'm thinking about getting digital forensics. So I've been applying. I've been applying to Microsoft actually, just trying to do some different things. Microsoft, Meta. I'm trying to move on from the private sector eventually.
Yeah, Microsoft hiring process is so slow.
Does it take like 6 months, something like that?
I don't know. It's weird. Like years ago, I interviewed with them. It was quick. Now it's just like, bro, I applied stuff months or 2 months ago. You don't hear nothing. Now, having said all that, what do you feel about this RTO work? Do you think it's any merit to like them just trying to like bag on government workers, or what do you think about all of it?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with a lot. What he's doing, I don't agree on how he's doing it. A lot of the government workers are not doing any work, and I'm just saying facts. They mainly manage us, or they get bored. They start getting on contract, and keep in mind to the audience, the federal workers are the people that actually work for the government. The contractors are the people that work for the contractor. They're customers, but so they're not really doing that much work. So I agree.
This video is being sponsored by TechTual Consulting. Are you still struggling to get into cybersecurity? Are you not getting interviews? Do you have a bad resume? Or is it all the above? Well, if that's you, then we got you covered at TechTual Consulting. My name is Henry Davis. I'm a career coach and a cybersecurity professional, and I've helped hundreds, maybe even thousands of people get into cybersecurity with my coaching and my content that you've seen in various places. Now, I specialize in specifically getting people in the blue team. That would be incident response or SOC analyst. I can cover everything from your entry level to your medium to your advanced skills and really help you outperform your resume. You don't believe me? Check out some of these testimonials that I've had from recent clients. So if you're interested, click the link in my bio, techtualconsulting.com/offerings to see what offerings that we have available for you. Now, back to the show.
For sure. We all noticed. Them people just up there, like, think about it. I think it was like, well, I don't know if it was Bees or something like this dude never came to work. He never got fired. Like, it was like, it take forever to get fired from the government.
It takes a long, now, if you're in like your probationary stage, they can fire you anytime.
I'm talking about after that.
Yeah, after that, you stuck there. There's some people that been there there's some people that's like 70, 80.
Because I always say if I did one of them jobs, it'll be like if I don't have nothing else to do and I'm just trying to retire and get an easy check. And now one of the things I don't agree with, he's like, they're not even working at home. They got 2-3 jobs and they're working this other job and doing this other stuff.
I agree. They ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing no work. I think a lot of people, the economy so bad now. So a lot of people are getting 2-3 jobs, but the contractors are mainly doing the work. The government people are not. They probably sleep. You know what I'm saying? They ain't doing nothing. Yeah. I'm just keep on 100 to you. They ain't doing that.
No, I feel you on that. And that's the thing, too. I was like, okay, well, you mad at these people for getting multiple jobs, but y'all, eggs are $6.
And then, in federal, they not paying that much money. So I agree. I mean, get your money where you can. I'm not one of those people. But you got to, in the government, you got to tell them first.
Either you going to pay them more or you do stuff like, hey, if you're a government employee, you get this certain type of home loan to where no money down. So similar to like you being in the military where you get that, what's that specific loan they get in the military?
I forgot. What's it called? Oh, the VA loan.
There you go. But it's going to be called the Fed loan. Yeah. You got to make incentives for people to want to work for you if that's the case.
Yeah, because the private sector, y'all get everything. Y'all can go to work. They give you food. They feed you, pay for everything.
But not so. When I was working at Goldman Sachs and they was getting us back in the office like 3 times a week, for the most part, they pay for us to eat Grubhub like 3 days a week. $20. You got $20 in lunch and use the Grubhub.
Oh, that's good.
And then they stopped it. I was like, they got to do different stuff. Like, so at JP Morgan, they have a campus in Plano, big campus. They got a cafeteria in like 2 buildings. So you don't got to leave. Like, also, I forgot what you get. I think you get a month free or 2 weeks free. But if you got kids, they have a daycare. So you can bring your kids to the daycare. They got Starbucks there. So companies are going to have to adapt to their workers. Like, you want them to come into the office, but who going to watch the kid?
I agree. And that's why.
And who gonna help them pay for the daycare? Because what you paying them ain't gonna pay for daycare. So give them a ration on how to pay that. I'm gonna show y'all something in a second. Like, I'm gonna show y'all what like my thing is per month to possibly co-work. And I'm like, that's a lot. That's an easy benefit that people don't count into their compensation.
I agree. You got to make it competitive in the federal or contractor space because a lot of the private sector taking everybody.
But I think they making people come in office too. But like that's the thing. People don't mind, but like it gotta be worthwhile. Like out here, so big, they'll hit me up about something like, "Hey, I ain't gonna hold you, chief. I don't stay nowhere near the place that y'all want me to come into. If it was closer, like if it was a Addison or Frisco, maybe hell, if you want me to go downtown 2 times a week, I could rock with it. But trying to get me to go to Irvin or Fort Worth,
How far is that? Like an hour?
it's gonna be a no for me, big dog. It depends. It is not, but like out here, a wreck can happen or anything, or you got to go a certain way. So now you do spend 2 hours a day commuting, maybe 2.5. So that's early time you got to wake up, away from your kids and all this other stuff. So like as you get older, you start realizing why them adults used to interact with when you was a kid, why they had such a bad mood.
Yeah, I get it now too. I'd be like, man, I understand now. I understand a lot of stuff now.
I know. My dad used to say, don't be in the rush to grow up. Just enjoy your childhood. Everybody want to grow up.
Man.
I want my own money. I want a car. I want all that stuff.
I can go if I can go back, I'll go back.
Man, hey, listen, my son be getting the best sleep in the morning. I was like, I want to be like Josh, but I'm talking about he be sleeping good.
Cause I'd be like, I look at my father now. I'd be like, he looking older now, and I'd be like, I know why you got to that point.
Oh yeah, like shoot, I got 2 girls and a boy. I was like, I'll probably be somebody bald head daddy one day.
Yeah, one day, especially the girls. You know what I'm saying?
That is funny. That's a running joke. Like girls who spoiled, they got a bald head daddy.
Yeah.
You got a bald head daddy? See,
That's how it be. He always bald, but in our case, they got the flip flops.
uh-huh. With the linen on, with the sugar daddy outfits on. So, what would you advise like the GovTech workers to do? Not the contractors, because they had a different predicament. They technically work for private companies that got government contracts.
So I would tell the government workers. Okay, so I would tell the government workers just because they trying to buy them out. I would just say ride it as long as you can and just try to adapt to the times. That's what I would tell them to do.
Speaking of the buyout, them fools didn't even think about the buyout. They want people to do the buyout, but didn't say, hey, you still got to work because we need you.
That's the point. And I'm like,
and that's the thing too, that people, they're so stupid, they're not realizing, hey, right now, just how it stands, everybody can't just get a clearance to do the job that you need somebody else to do. And that's why I used to try to go on strike when I did help desk. I'm like, they can't just bring people in the street off this, bruh. I was like, I just want $5 more an hour, maybe. Just that.
Yeah, they have no choice. There's not too many people that have a secret clearance or top secret. And if you go to the full scope, there's very few people on the United States that have it.
Yeah. Speaking of, there's another show you probably ain't seen it though. It's called Linus. Have you seen Linus?
Oh no, I ain't watching.
They have like some. They talk about the clearances on there either, but it's a pretty good show. It's starring Zoe Saldana.
Oh, yeah.
And some other people. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that was like, so I was like, I would hold out, and then once y'all know the buyout guarantee, shoot, hey, start interviewing now.
Yeah.
Take the buyout. Once you figure out they're gonna get people the money, start your new job, get that 8 months money.
But the only issue, the people that's closer to retirement, I was just saying,
they're different.
Yeah, they different.
But and I also was telling people this don't take into account all these roles ain't even tech roles. So that's something you got to think of. These could be people that's janitors. These people that could be mail sorters, coffee go-getters. I don't know, whatever roles they got in there. Bean counters.
It probably is a role, seriously.
Listen.
Seriously. Because they didn't put anything. Badge printer.
So in the midst of all this, you decided to start Tech Woke. Why the name Tech Woke? I never even asked you, like, why did you pick Tech Woke?
It's enlightenment. Because, like, the main reason I started it, and like I told you, I was following you. I didn't even want to even do social media, but there was some people on social media talking about you can make $100K in like 30 days.
Who said that?
I ain't saying no names, but some people were saying that, or get a security plus, 100K, or, you're going to make a lot of money. And I was like, do you know how much work I had to do to even get to 6 figures? And I'm like, so I'm listening to it, and I try to write in the comments, and then they'll just, they could block you, ignore you, or just don't say anything, And
so I would take screenshots of comments.
Yeah, I got to start doing that. And then I was watching, what really threw me off, I saw you one day. It was on TikTok specifically. And I was like, he's talking actually real stuff. And I was like, real stuff? I was confused. Like, and I started following you, and I watched your old stuff. I'm talking about when you was doing it on the webcam, or you was doing it on the Google Pixel. Actually, you still have the Google Pixel.
Yeah, my first video was shot on the Pixel.
Yeah, and I was like, this dude is real. And then I was like, and then you started talking about anime, just different things like that. And then I was like, can I do what you're doing? But I wanted to do it in a way like I said, I don't use woke in a bad way, but just being enlightened. You know what I'm saying? I just want to do it that way. But and that's the real reason I started Tech Woke. And I'm gonna just and we'll talk about it. We're going to some different directions. You always gotta be different in this space.
Yeah, I remember the name I was talking about earlier. You could get into cybersecurity for a high paying role. Talupe Michael was the guy. that was talking about 45 days and went on that man podcast and told a straight lie.
Yeah, I actually watched that one. So I saw it. I was watching it. He said he was a pen tester, and so on his LinkedIn it says he's a cybersecurity engineer, and I was like, "You ain't no pen. You know, there's very few people on this earth that can become a pen tester in 1 year.
It's very people that go from driving a cab to pen testing.
Yeah, that's almost impossible. Them people don't even talk English.
So the issue with that person's platform that did it also was because they still was pretty much new in their career. They don't even know a lot of the technology in cyber to be hosting cyber interviews. So you can't come back to somebody and say, okay, hey, what type of vulnerability scanner or something that y'all was using? You don't even know to ask them that because that's not where your strength is. And that's why you can bring somebody on like that paid money to come on that can lead people astray with fake testimonials, because that's why I tell people all the time, hey, listen, my people got first and last names on our testimonials. I have pretty much when you go on my offerings page, you see real people with their first and last names talking about working with me, and you can go find them on LinkedIn. A lot of people don't have that because it's easy if I just go find some generic people, take some stuff from ChatGPT or something and throw it on there. Oh, look at all these testimonials. No, you can go even talk to the people that's on there and they can tell you about me. Therefore, you can say, okay, you know. And some people on there like I became closer with, and like some like not I mean it's like a working relationship, but like we still talk. It's like, hey, yo, I came back and used the stuff that you taught me, and I got another raise. Now I'm making X amount of money.
That's fine. And then, you know, the funny thing about that, a lot of those people that be on testimonials, and I watched off of real account of reaction, you can Google those pictures, and a lot of those pictures be fake.
Yes.
Like you
look, bro, I looked at the person we talking about, and we go to this page right now. Phantom Marie can do it right now while we sitting here. And you look at them testimonials, some people look like they reading the phone for their testimonial.
And that's why I like you so much, because you just real. I like real. I don't like fakeness. Like, even how we talk, you give it, however you feel, you say it. And that's why I was drawn to that.
Because most of my audience is probably black. I know I could lie to them if I want to, but it ain't going to set them up for success.
It's a long game.
I could make up stories just to get the views, but the views don't matter. Like I was telling, I don't know who I was talking about my content. And I was saying, I don't prioritize getting a lot of views and clicks over my relationships that I'm building. I've did some stuff where I've had to alter thumbnails and change titles for guests, you know, or hire videos just because like it got them in trouble. I was like, I'll preserve my friendship or relationship that I got with you because it may be years later down the line where you got something for me and you remember, hey, they did something where they looked out for me. They not a greedy person. They didn't just talk to me. Of course, you want to make some bread off of it.
Yeah.
But like, just like, cause you know now for being monetized, it'll probably take if somebody watching your video like the whole way through, and if you got some long form content to really see some like decent money, maybe it hit 100,000 or more just from that video, and then you cut it up. So maybe all in all, from them video cut-ups, you might hit 300, 400,000.
Make some real money.
Views to make decent money. If you're not getting that, don't be so staunch on your little 10 views you're going to get extra to mess up something that can help you out in the long run.
Like, because even when you say that, there's times even with TechTual, I had to literally, there was a couple guests, they mentioned their job. I literally went through it myself and took their job out of everything. And then I delete content if it doesn't represent me.
Yeah,
also good.
Not only
too.
that, like, shoot, if the content ain't good.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to say, hey, it got to go down. So, nah, man. So, being a content creator, primarily focusing more so on YouTube, what have you been learning about creating cybersecurity related content on YouTube now?
I would say creating content in general, and I'll tell the audience, like, create content because it helped build me relationships. Like, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today if I haven't created content.
Yeah, shout out to Markeisha.
Yeah, shout out to Markeisha. She good peoples. And, you know, I building connections like Markeisha, and I'm creating content. I pretty much know a lot of people in the cybersecurity space. I know about jobs. I know what's coming in the future. What was the question? What was the beginning question?
Just like what you learned from like making the content.
Yeah, so I learned like, you know, building connections, and then also too, I learned skills that I can use forever, like how to create a video, how to script. Also, I can, like we was talking about earlier, I can go work for companies and just tell them how to monetize a channel because I technically monetize the channel. So I've learned so many skills to create content, and I think that's how the world's going now. The most popular people, the most people that's into the content, that's who's going to be really getting jobs now.
Yeah. also when it comes to content, gone are the days of the people who can just do SEO terms and filibuster do content. Now the subject matter experts could play the people that actually have some to offer value, whether it's life experience, whether it's entertainment, whether it's even commentary on certain things that could bring value. That's where it's at now with YouTube. Even if you talk about all the different things that's transpired in short form content, when it comes to, we were talking about TikTok earlier. Gone are the days where every 2 seconds you got some B-roll and all these bells and whistles, bop, 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 and your freaking head is like exploding, you're overstimulated. People want to hear something delivered well, and it's a good message, maybe on B-roll or some transitions. But the way of storytelling is back. How do you tell the story? How do you engage the audience? How do you make them feel comfortable? Like, oh, I see myself in this.
Yeah.
And like knowing when I shoot content, hey, I'm not making content. If I make content for everybody, I reach nobody.
Facts.
That's the biggest thing people got to realize. Like, it's going to be maybe a couple people that resonate with them. It's like, yo, I see myself in Chris. Yo, I see myself in Phantom Marie. That was me. Yo, I want to get in cybersecurity now too. What I need to do.
Same thing with you. Like even with me, I made a video recently. You know me, I mostly interview people. But I made a video literally talking about myself. That's why I made more money off of that one than I did off of any video interview.
I told you.
Literally, I made so much money just off of that one. You know what I'm saying?
Then that's how you start. You're branding yourself. So you start establishing yourself as such a matter expert. So now you be like, hey, submit some stuff so go talk for RMF or something. Now you got, here go a playlist of things I've talked about. Submit it there. And we'll go and see how you like what I talk about.
Facts. And that's some good advice you did tell me. I just was so reluctant on doing it, but when I did, like even the RMF how to create, do RMF tutorial, like I had so many people hit me up off that because they wanted to see what I can actually do. So
yeah, I mean, when it comes to that, and think about it, you just don't want your audience to be so contingent on who you having this week. It's hard to. We notice it go through spells where you probably don't have no stuff lined up, and like when you already like a smaller channel, like just getting your name out there. Everybody not, if you don't have a service you're working with to get people on the thing, everybody not beating down your door to come on the show.
They not. It's almost, and for me specifically, it's harder. It's harder to get people. It's a little bit, but it's harder because they still be like they'll rather go to yours versus mine. So you got to rather create content, you know.
So how I used to mitigate that, because people was always like, man, well, how you got so and so this or that? I would just, instead of going off to mess you, hey, would you come on the show? It depends sometimes on them. If they got a smaller following and we follow each other back, and maybe I interacted a little bit, I'll shoot them a message. But if not, it's probably going to take a while before I interact with enough stuff, leave a good comments, and then they finally follow me back. And then that's when I like ask them what they be interested in. And some people, you know, you got to get used to people that shy, people that say no. I mean, it is what it is. For me, it's all business. But that's literally how I'm able to do like certain people I want to get on. Like, dang, I didn't think you would want to come on, but that's literally how to do. So if you can, no matter how big they are, you just never know. Like know. Somebody will come in and think, like I said, I don't know if you liked it or not, but like I made a post on Thursday that said, yo, I'm going to have Taylor Lord on the podcast.
I liked it. Yeah.
I have so I was talking about last night, my girl, the degrees of separation, like 6 degrees separation. Like I have a degree of separation between me and her that I'm not really actively just utilizing yet, but I'm like, that's another way. Like think about it, like a full blown freaking person that just makes tech related content, like they don't work no more. They used to work in tech, so I feel like that'll still speak to the audience.
Yeah, like even like I don't know if you follow Hacker Valley, like they had Simone, the Simone Biles on there. I was like, how did you even get her on there? The gymnastics girl, and I was like, yeah. So I mean,
just reaching out. I know, like, so I forgot what conference it was, but I remember she was doing some stuff with like Exonius. She was on. Yeah, Hacker Valley. I thought for whatever I started thinking about Hacker Proof. But yeah, they had some deals with some other companies, so that's how that merger worked. But yeah, no, this is my guy. Shout out to Chris and Ron. Well, really Ron. Chris is doing his own thing. He's actually in the area too. And I'm McKinney. So I actually got to get him come back up here. I think he's doing that work with I forgot his IM company. He's doing some work for him. I need to actually message him today. Because we did an episode a while back.
Okay, you gotta redo that one. You gotta reintroduce.
I may just have to put it on a different channel because it was so different. It was just mostly about cybersecurity content. So, like, if anybody is thinking about making cybersecurity content, find a video that I did with Hacker Valley because those guys, at the point, was really like having big cybersecurity companies pretty much sponsor their pod, and that's what their job. They would go to conferences and represent the pod and do interviews and drop weekly. That was what they was doing. So that's a video. That's a gem. Like that's a video everybody don't even know about. It's on the page because it was just different from the regular content, but it's on there.
Yeah,
still high quality.
I gotta go back and watch that one because I do follow them and I study how they do it, and that's what they do. They'll just have other people pay to do a podcast.
Yeah, and that's the thing too I'm working on. I've been following Brendan Boyd a little bit of like offering them packages like, hey, you want the short form content, long snippets, you can do your ad roll in here. We can try to package it. And what you think about this package right here? Because everybody wants stuff for free when it comes to content or coming on a pod, but then realize, hey, you got to pay for the time to go shoot. You got to put the time in to edit it. Then you got to market it. And hopefully it make you money back on the back end.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You know, my stuff high quality, and I'm like, I've been really debating that. Should I charge for you to keep the video? Because I usually give it away for free. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just be giving it away for free. I gotta stop with that.
Present it to them. Or if the people got a service-based business or something, present it to them. Be like, yo, let's see how we could be mutually beneficial to each other. Because if they was going on another bigger show, they probably would say, well, hey, if you pay this, we'll say this to our newsletter, all our subscribers, this and that for $10,000. We know the man down there with the Atlanta Falcons, he was charging an arm and leg to come on his show.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know what I would, but yeah.
I'm surprised Fanta Marie ain't going there yet. I'll tell you off the line.
Yeah, because there's some podcasts that hit you like 20 bands just to even come on there.
Yeah, Gillian Wallow was running ads like crazy back in the day.
Like 50K.
I couldn't even watch it because like every couple of minutes they was running the ad. I'm like, bro, I get it, but I can't even enjoy the content with these non-skippable ads.
But then again, back to the I did want to go back to that thing you did talk about. Like you can go viral anytime, right? If you change your content, but I do respect that the relationships part though.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Like that's the thing, clickbaity thing. Like it started like, but so we're gonna talk about pet peeves or making content and everything else. Is like I used to be on Facebook, that Black IT group, but I left out of it because there was crabs in the bucket. But like instead of the people going to the video and commenting, they was leaving all their comments on the post, and I'm like, bruh, just go comment on the video. And people was telling me that was lame because I was trying to get my views up. Bro, I posted it so y'all can go interact with the video. Like that's all you got to go do. And they wouldn't do it, and they were just talking like a lot of stupid stuff, or they would be rating. Like one thing I don't play about. You can say whatever you mean, but I'm like Kendrick. Like you say something about my guest, I'll inherit the beef. I don't really like if you come on and say stuff about my guest or whatever if you're not listening to what they saying or reading in between the lines. Because that's what made me mad. Like if you go back to the episode I did with Miranda, they was questioning like, oh, how did she make X amount of money? I'm like, bro, she said her program got paid this money. So I just manipulated the title in a way that I knew you would click because it said, hey, they made $2,000 an hour or whatever.
Same thing with Markeisha. I put the thumbnail saying how to get into cybersecurity with no experience, and they didn't even watch the video they talking to. I said, go, and once you have a guest, you got to defend them to life at this point. You know what I'm saying?
I be on there saying, I be saying all type of SMDs and everything to people sometimes because they be getting on my nerves. Because like I'll respond back if you want to troll, but then when you start getting on my nerves, I was like, bro, y'all not even trying to watch it. So all engagement is good engagement on YouTube. So I'll be like, whatever. Because they be like, look how he's talking. I don't care. I'm talking to y'all. Y'all came on here like just wanted to just be negative for no reason and not really listening. Because I explained to you, I was like, hey, if somebody said they got this and they paid for this, this is how. I just knew that y'all would come watch it just based off this alone. And that was the goal of it. And then instead, y'all didn't want to listen. Y'all critiqued it. But that's neither there. But I know you always got like all these big critiques and stuff like that. Like what's your biggest like pet peeve or anything about cyber?
That is easy. About tech in general, like everybody's always saying, oh yeah, tech is easy, cyber is easy, you're gonna make all this money. That's my biggest thing. We both know, we're not gonna make that much money in the beginning, unless you're lucky. But that's my biggest issue.
I wouldn't even say luck. So I think strategy. So if a person's in school, that's why I always direct people to actually real life events. If you are young and in school or not in school, but you want to get the bag early on in your career, go research a Tay on Tech. Go research a Dayspring or Day Cyberwalks. Two young guys, kind of similar in a sense with Day. Just even through the pandemic, meeting me, whatever. Now look at them doing big things at Amazon. Worked at Datadog. Used to work at a company with me where he got like double the salary. All these different things. Stock options now. Tavion, we started off working together at McAfee. Then he came to my company, negotiated like his first like 6-figure offer for his first job or whatever. And I was getting sign-ons and worked at some of the biggest and still working at some of the biggest tech companies and making good plays for investments and stuff. That stuff is strategy because they focus on learning skills that made them put their head down but they were levels above all the same people their age when it came to interviewing. So that's a lot of people that's not willing to do that. So we were talking about earlier about if you go like Microsoft with all these free tools, Sentinel, Defender, Azure, all these different things, and you go find your Mr. Miyagi to turn you into Danielson, you wax on, wax off for a while, you're gonna be good. Like that's literally what it takes. So I don't care like what Bruce Lee said. I think he said he's more afraid of the guy that practices the same punch like 1,000 times than the guys practicing like all these different moves and stuff like that. So if you go and practice them fundamentals and those things that you see, or just problems, or how to replicate a security incident, or how to write a detection, or like we were talking about earlier, you never heard the term insider threat. It's like, how do we prevent insider threat? What type of tools are there? What kind of use cases could I think about? What kind of things could I make a project about? Just even talk about on my LinkedIn that people say, hey, I like how you think. We can use you on the team. You want to come on? All the different things make you stand out because you know this, she know this, everybody else know this. When you get to work, there's a lot of people, they just on a meme, they ain't asking no questions. They just there so they don't get fined.
Facts.
So they at where they at. That's why I was saying earlier, say, hey, they may be senior level in title, but in skill, they lost that a long time ago.
Long time ago. And like back you said TechTual Tech, he did it the right way. He was in college, he did internships, he got certificate. I actually pay attention to stuff. He did it the right way, so I believe he's gonna make 100K off the break. But it's harder for a lot of people because people not built like that. Or like a Nigel. You know what I'm saying? Nigel, he's a beast.
Yeah, Nigel, Dave. I got some other guys. David that did some work with Kenneth.
I know. Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
My boy Marquise. Like it's just certain people that's gonna put their head down and they gonna get it together, and that's what you got to do. Like it ain't pretty. It's the same thing with like, okay, hey, I was talking about watching Creed 3 with Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan. You want the six pack and stuff like that, but you don't want to eat right. You don't want to wake up and train. It's hard. I get up in the morning, it's like, bro, I don't want to get up. I do not want to go in here. It's leg day. It's push day. I don't want to do it. But if you got to do it, pain is weakest leaving the body.
Yeah, even with me, when I first got in my Security Plus, I legit had to dip off for 6 months. I literally had to work my butt off for 6 months. No friends, no women. And I had to do it. And you do what you got to do to get what you need.
Yeah, I go back to starting this channel in the pandemic and just put my head down, stand away, like, making content or doing this and that. And like when you out the way though, like you kind of like in your own world, like you're gonna wake back up, it's gonna be better. You're gonna be different spots where them people you last seen, they still doing the same thing.
And then with the content thing, I just had a question for you. Like I know people looked at you crazy. Like, why is he doing this? But now now they see the vision now, right?
You know what? I never knew if that was happening because most of the people I ever told about it, they were very supportive. I had like some friends, like I said, I previously was already making content that was not necessarily going nowhere. I met a subset of people that I'm still kind of connected to a little bit when it came to the boxing stuff. But it was a passion, but it was a passion that kind of just didn't lead to where I wanted to go do. Because with that, I would have to play a certain game and say different things about certain fighters that I'm not down with. But with this, a lot of people were more appreciative because they didn't see it. So I will come out with, like I started the series, how I got in, why did I choose to get out of architecture to be in computer information systems? My first help desk job, office politics, my first security job, or moving to Dallas, like all those different things, like it drew people in. So, okay, he's kind of telling us it. Then I went on to just talk about different things. And then I started trying to just figure out, okay, what do they like, what to stick with, and how, like back then, like I tell people, now if you're going to start content, let's chronicleize out what you want to do, and you maybe shoot them 4 or 5 episodes in the beginning versus trying to shoot week to week. So I didn't get burned out, but I definitely didn't know sometimes what I was going to shoot about, what I was going to talk about, and all those different things. But it was fun. Back then, I think my oldest was born or whatever. But other than that, it was much simpler. Like I had a lot more free time.
You having some fun back then. Now it's like I'm experiencing too, just busy. Busy.
That's like people don't believe you. Like I was talking to my cousin the other day. I was like, I don't mind coming back to the family functions, but y'all can't let me know like the day before. Like my schedule be booked. Like let me know so I can schedule it out and block it out, get somewhere to stay or wherever I want to do, and come back.
Like months, like at least a month, maybe 2 weeks at least.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Any other funny like hot take you got?
I do want hot take about cyber, just in general, or government.
Whatever your hot take want to be.
So, with this DEI stuff, I mean, so I noticed with this DEI stuff starting to affect a lot of people. I just saw a post recently that that it affected actually Black GovTech. They had a conference coming up, so I don't know.
In that letter, what happened? Like the sponsors pulled out or what?
I don't really know. I think we don't know for sure. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to just say allegedly. I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking it had to do with something with that. I don't know, but it just,
Yeah, I agree. And also what people not realizing with the DEI, like most people associate DEI with Black. But it covers much more than that. Like people say it covers veterans, you got women, LGBTQ. Not only that, you got people with disabilities. You have remote work is DEI. A lot of people, like from my hometown, like if they can work remotely, now they got a chance to have another like high paying career versus having to move like I did because hey, the jobs ain't there. And that's the one thing I thought about RTO, how it's gonna hurt those people again, and what are they gonna do? Are they gonna move or what? Like that's the biggest thing. It sucks when you have to leave out your hometown to go find work. Because I thought I was never going to move to Texas.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking.
I thought I was going to move up at CSRA until I found out, hey, my managers was purposely keeping me in the help desk so I couldn't leave. And I had found out, like, the managers was getting bonuses and we weren't getting none of it. I was like, oh, yeah.
That's why even when I'm trying to move now, I'm like, I feel like I hit a certain ceiling in the DMV. So that's why I'm considering coming to Texas. Maybe not Dallas, maybe Houston. I don't know. But I'm getting out the city.
So if you want to, like, stay more professional and get stuff done, come here. If you want to have brunch every day and have fun, go to Houston.
Yeah, Houston's brunch. Yeah, brunch. This is more professional.
They stay partying, but like here, Austin is in between. I don't really care for Austin that much. I like this vibe out here. You got all these different. It's a metroplex, so all these different suburbs or wherever. You could be like in your own little way. Like the people that's watching this now, that's from the area. Like I was talking about, yeah, next time we got to go to Frisco because like you ain't got to come down here. You can go mob out of Frisco if you want to.
Yeah, you keep mentioning it. I didn't know. Is it a better area or is it kind of like more chill or?
Yeah, it's a better area. It's more of a suburb. That's where the Dallas Cowboys, their training facility is out there too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So like my old office building is like right across from that. So it's like called the Star. So like that's an area and they're like building up everything. They have the PGA headquarters is in Frisco. They are building a Universal Studios theme park out there. So a lot of people are congregating to that area. And then like, oh, you got like she mentioned earlier, Addison.
Yeah, I keep hearing Addison.
Addison got a lot of food spots. You could do a lot of cool little stuff in Addison. You can just stay out the way. You ain't gotta like. I want to have my own studio actually in Addison. I think it's a good buffer from not being down here, and you got a lot of places you go entertain at, and probably find some cheaper office space too because you're not paying the downtown tax.
Okay,
and it's right off the tollway, so it's perfect.
That's good to know. Can't wait. Whatever I do,
I'm trying to see. I'm not gonna get you in trouble because you already answered that.
Oh yeah. Which one? Never mind. I already know what you're about to say. Nah, I'm good. Nah, don't.
Yeah, I always ask people that.
Leave that alone. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I was gonna message you. So I ain't even gonna do it like that. So you be getting a text whenever this drop.
Yeah. Okay.
I did one of my clients like that though. I asked him about was he like single or taken. He was like, I'm talking to somebody. So I was like, so technically, somebody got a chance, huh?
Nah, I'm gonna just leave that alone.
I ain't gonna. I'd be liking to stir the pot though. I be wanting to go to somebody with me like, hey, I got together because of the podcast.
No, I think you probably have. You probably don't even know.
You think I hooked somebody up from the podcast?
I think you probably did. And you never know. Some people like, oh, I saw you on there. And you never know.
They never told me. I'm saying I want to invite to the wedding. If you found a guest of my podcast, I want to invite to the wedding. I want to actually say something. Let me speak.
I know you be like a proud father out there.
Hey, for real, man. That's what it's about. Because I think a lot of men and women feel like they can't find nobody they want to talk to.
You can find somebody. It's just everybody. You don't know if somebody trying to get you for you, or they just want you because you money, or you're in tech, or whatever. I'm just paranoid. I'm just being real with you.
Okay, B.O.B.
Yeah. You talking about a rapper?
Yeah, B and Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah, I'm paranoid, man. That's a song, okay.
Man, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I would tell people you are what you attract. So whatever you putting out there good, you're going to run into like some good people. But if all you putting out is like bad stuff, you're going to attract them type of people. It's like, if you're going to leave with your wallet, that's what you're going to get. Women that's after your wallet.
That is facts, though. If I'm like, I pay for everything, you're going to get that every time.
That's fine, but that's not really leading with your wallet. It's like being a gentleman. But more so like leading with your wallet, bling-blinging and all this out and being really materialistic. Okay, that's what they're going to expect out of you. That's going to be their love language, buying them stuff. But you lead with your character and then they start to show and then shit like, oh, I can grow with this person. Because everybody... They always paying attention to money, but the character was really more important.
Yeah, I judge character. Like, it's hard to find good people, like legit good people. So I judge off of good people, and I watch you for a long time to see if you're a good person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of good. I think honestly, yeah, if you do come to the South, I'm just gonna tell you definitely get your membership ready because you find somebody that cooking stuff. I'm like, hey, Chris,
You say do it now. You know what I'm saying? I got you.
keep your regimen down, man. So where can they follow the Tech Woke podcast? Where can they follow you? Like your website and everything. Where can they follow you at?
Okay, so for the Tech Woke podcast, it's at Real Tech Woke on YouTube. If you want to go on the website, techwokepodcast.com. If you want to, have you ever want to get? Am I allowed to say merch?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Let me start from the beginning. Like, if you ever want to check out the podcast, Real Tech Woke on YouTube, on techwokepodcast.com. You ever want to get any merch from Tech Woke, on shoptechwoke.com. I'm on TikTok, Tech Woke, and on Instagram, Chris Okpala, and also Tech Woke Podcast. And that's pretty much where you can find me if you want to check me out.
Cool. I'll have all those links in the description. So if you want to holler at Chris, please go ahead and follow him. And hey, I appreciate y'all for rocking with us and rocking out with us today. But until next time, let's stay textual and we out. Peace.